Hi everyone, and welcome back. In this video, we are continuing our chakra series with the root chakra.
Yes, the root chakra. Muladhara, for all of you who like the Indian names. Again, this is the first chakra in a lot of systems. Our first chakra, of course, is the foot chakra. But a lot of systems don't use the foot chakra. They only use 7 and they start with the root. Okay. The root being one of the most important because it's the base, it's the foundation. It's how you ground yourself. It's how everything is grounded within you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's where you draw your strength from, your stamina.
Right.
Okay. It's your core, for the most part. Okay. It's located hips in the front, okay, base of the spine in the back. The endocrine gland associated with it are the adrenals. Okay. The planetary association is Saturn. Okay. The angelic association, chakra only. We're going to the Zoroastrians here, the Amishaspentas, and it's Ashavahista.
Okay.
Elemental association is earth. And again, strength, grounding, stamina. That's all earth energy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when we get to the color association, this is where it differs a little bit from the planetary association, okay, and the sign association, because the color is red. Okay. And the color red symbolizes vibrance, passion, love, desire, romance, sensuality, courage, ambition, determination, and radiance. So really the only thing in there, as far as the color is concerned, in earth, is determination, for the most part. Okay. Everything else is a bit different. However,
It does speak to its role as a hub, though.
it does. It speaks to its role as the first hub of the auric field.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So any energy that breaks through the auric field, the energy comes right to your root chakra, and your root chakra starts to organize it, and it does a little processing of it. Okay. And that's all it's doing. And then it takes that energy and that information, sends it up to your throat chakra. Your throat chakra disseminates it to the rest of the chakras to determine what needs to know what so that it can react.
Right.
And so that we can react. Okay. For survival instincts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one thing that it has to also do is it has to be able to bypass its own system. Okay, in case there's, let's say, a speeding car flowing right at you, and you're like, it doesn't have time to sit there and go, okay, I need to organize this, and let's start to process this. We'll send it up to the throat chakra so they can disseminate, and then we can move out of the way. No, not enough time. So what it's going to do is it's going to take all of that information that it just gathered, and it's going to send it directly to the heart. Not the heart chakra, but the heart itself. So, essentially Venus, because that's what rules the heart muscle. Okay. The only, essentially, endocrine gland that's not an endocrine gland. The heart, because it's actually a muscle. Okay, but it does regulate hormones.
It does.
Okay?
And there's and
secrete hormones throughout the bloodstream.
There's a lot of interesting facts about the heart too that we'll get into when we get to.
So it's almost like a crossover as an endocrine gland. It can act as an endocrine gland.
Right.
But the thing is, it can bypass everything and just shoot things out itself much quicker. So, car flowing at you. Heart says, get out of the way, you get out of the way. Because Venus shoots that energy out, essentially to Doth. Doth goes by and jumps and gets you moving out of the way. Gets that drive going.
Right.
Move. Okay?
Right.
So, because of that, the root chakra has to be able to communicate with the heart. Okay? The heart being Venus. Okay? So, again, because it's red, and we're talking about passion, love, desire, vibrance, okay, sensuality, ambition, radiance, all of that is going to speak to Venus.
Mm-hmm.
Because Venus is all about love. Okay. And in doing so, you're speaking her own language.
Right.
Okay. So the information gets to her, understands it, and is able to absorb it rapidly, can get you out of the way of the vehicle. that's what we chose as far as this one goes. Okay, so it's interesting that it's got that color red associated with it. Okay. Now, what does red also do? As far as the aura is concerned, again, we talked about it. It's a hub. Okay. Takes the energy in, and again, it begins to analyze and process it. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? It's organizing. Okay. And that's what the part of the analysis that it's doing is just organizing. Okay. And sending it out. Sending it out. Sending it out.
Recognizing the frequencies, dividing them.
Exactly. Dividing them up.
Not necessarily, this means
organized.
this
Right.
means that. No.
No meaning behind it at all.
It's just organizing.
Yeah, and then just sending it up to the throat. Okay. Now, the physical functions of the root chakra. Okay. Issues related to the hip area, elimination, coccygeal vertebrae, life energy, associated with smell, and the nose. Okay. So things coming in.
Right.
Okay. But that's also associated with taste. Okay. Because your nose has taste buds in it.
Right.
You smell something, and you get that. Someone's cooking something
you
really like.
You can
taste it.
You can smell it. You can smell a flavor. You can smell.
Right.
Yeah. That's ever been around the kitchen when someone's baking bread.
Oh yes. Yes. Exactly. Okay. But again, it has similarities with the foot chakra because it's also about elimination, and so is the foot.
Right.
Okay. So there is an intermix there. And we know that the root chakra, because of Saturn, rules Capricorn and Aquarius. Well, the foot chakra, because of Uranus, generationally rules Aquarius, Capricorn. So the energies are the same, just reversed, almost reflected.
Interesting. Okay.
Of itself. Okay. So
that's where you get a lot of the intermixing sometimes in different systems.
Well, yeah, that's why.
Apart from ours, yeah.
Yeah, when you're not working with 10 chakras and you're only working with the 7, the foot becomes part of the root.
Right.
What happens because of that.
Okay.
Right. So it feels like it doesn't need it. But that division actually does make sense because it separates your core from your path. And that's a huge division.
It is. It's absolutely massive. Huge division. Absolutely massive. Yeah.
Okay. So it's unbelievably important for our system to work. Making sure that you're on the correct path, so to speak, is working the foot. Whereas making sure you're grounded, making sure your core is set. Okay. You've got the strength and determination to go forward. That's going to be your root. Okay.
Right.
Now, where you become aware and where you awaken to certain things, okay, that will help determine your path or if it needs to be redirected in some way. That's Uranus. Okay, so now we have planetary associations. Saturn doesn't do that. Saturn is the discipline. Again, going back to your core.
Right.
Your discipline, being able to take responsibility for things, being able to push through things, obstacles, learning things as you get through them. That's your route. It's not your path. Okay? It can help you on your path, but it's not your path. Okay? And again, that's the division between Saturn and Uranus as far as the foot and the root chakra are concerned. Okay? Now, the physical functions of the root chakra, we've already talked about. Psychological functions, safety and security, worthiness to exist, primal issues and feelings. Okay. So again, when we talk about the core, primal issues.
Right.
Primal things that you need to deal with. Okay. Again, associated with that. How do you deal with that? Discipline, generally. Okay. I have issues, I need to do something about them. Okay, to work through them, and then Saturn comes in and goes, okay, so what are we going to do here? I'm going to set you up with a challenge or an obstacle that you have to push through in order to break out of generally, usually the fear, whatever's limiting you, okay,
Okay.
or restricting you
Right.
from doing something, putting that in your way so that you get irritated to the point where you have to break through it.
You have to push through. Yeah.
Okay.
It's that
To
determination.
learn that lesson,
Of
because there's usually a lesson associated with it, and that lesson has to be learned. It's not just going to come to you.
Mm.
Pushing through the obstacles is what gets you there. Yes, I can do this. Right? It also talked about self-worth.
Right.
Okay. I'm not worthy. Oh, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. Going back to what was the from Saturday Night Live?
Oh yes, I know what you're talking about.
Mike Myers and
Yeah.
We're not worthy. We're not worthy. Anytime they met anybody, like when they met Alice Cooper.
Right.
You know, Garth and I can't remember the guy's name, but those two characters from Saturday Night Live. Anyway, that's what gets you worthy, because you hit an obstacle, met it, got through it, learned a lesson, and are moving on. That takes your self-worth up a level, because then you know, I did this, and because I did this, I can do something else.
Right.
Even bigger. The problem is when people go and they haven't really proven that they can do anything, and they try for this huge thing up here, and their self-worth is not quite there. They're on shaky ground with it. Okay, and those fears are creeping in.
Well,
I'm not sure I can do this. I'm not sure I can do that. And you didn't break through the little barriers. You looked at this little huge barrier and went, "That's the one." And then if all of a sudden you hit it, and the resistance is too much, and it pulls you back, a lot of times people quit. Their self-worth remains.
Well, again,
down
that
and restricted, and it limits them
speaks a
in
lot.
everything in their lives.
That speaks a lot to your path too, because and the difference between destiny and fate.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Well, it restricts your destinies. Your fate's still there, but it's going to restrict your destinies.
Right,
as to
exactly.
As to where
Yes,
you
you
go.
have that end point, but there's a process to get there. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, there are processes
Yeah.
that you have to do to get there.
And it works really a lot like, essentially like a square in astrology.
Yeah. Well, as far as putting a challenge in front of you, yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially what it's going to do. It's going to throw squares, semi-squares, any of what in astrology is considered, bad aspects. But there are no bad aspects. There's positive aspects. Well, there's positive things to aspects, and there's negative things to aspects.
Mm.
They're not bad. They're needed. And those obstacles are needed to break through.
Right.
Okay. Otherwise, what Saturn ends up being the limitation and the restriction. Because it puts these obstacles up and you go, no, I can't do this. And you don't even try. And it's like, no, you need to try. And even though it irritates and irritates and irritates, the fear gets the best of you. And you stop. You either stop or you, like I was talking about, distraction. Or you begin to distract yourself with things. Going on the internet.
Mm.
And meeting obstacles that way, even though they're not really real. They are to a certain degree, but not really. Because it's not really, you're not doing anything. Your character, your thing is on screen. But once the game's turned off, you're not the avatar. Did you actually do that? Not really. The game did it. You didn't. So a lot of the times it doesn't translate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you can do all this stuff on screen, but then when you're not on screen, you can't. It's like the people that go out there and that are really courageous when they're making comments to other people online.
Right.
But face to face, they never say a thing to anybody. Because they can't. They can't do it on a personal level. They have to hide behind something in order to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The keyboard warriors, or whatever you want to call them.
Right.
I've heard that term used.
I've heard a few times, yeah.
That's not something you want to do. Okay. Safety and security, it's the same thing. When you break through obstacles, okay, you become more secure with yourself. Okay. And when you see limitations that need to be there, that you don't break through, like car coming down the street, don't cross. You don't cross. That's a restriction. That's a limitation. Okay, that's safety and security. It controls that too, because there are some things that you don't break through. That's one of them. Now, car speeding down the street, there's a child in the path. Okay. Then, the obstacle. Do you run and grab the child, or do you keep yourself safe by not going into the street? Okay. That's experience. That's determined by experience. Okay. So that's more wisdom, and that's individual. Every individual is going to do something different at that point.
Right,
Some people will run out, throw the kid out, and get hit themselves. Some people will have enough time to grab the kid. Sometimes you don't have enough time. It's not possible.
Right.
But again, Saturn's and the root chakra is the energy that tells you that. Not going to happen. You can't make it. Okay? What can you do? Scream at the kid, get out of the way. Okay? Try to flag down who's ever coming down the street to make sure that they see there's a child in their path.
Right.
Okay? Do whatever you can to try to keep that child safe or stop that car from moving. Anything you can do. Even if you have to pick up something and throw it at it, if there's enough time for that even,
Right.
But, again, that's the root chakra also. And that's Saturn working through the root chakra. What are we going to do here? Okay. And again, sometimes that's going to get overridden. Okay. And you're just going to, in Saturn, and your root chakra is going to be like, why did you run in front of the car? You knew you couldn't make it. You bumped the kid out of the way, but now you're in the hospital. And you're like, well, the heart. The heart said no. And again, that redness of the root chakra is like, no. And it's going to look at Saturn and go, no. We're not doing that, because at my core, I have to try.
Right.
And the reason I have to try is because I won't be able to live myself if I don't. If something happens to that kid. Right? So that's when, again, the passion hits. You become passionate. I have to save this child. Right? You've got that life energy that's just flowing, and you need to do these things, and you have to get these things done. And that courage comes out. And the courage says, even if I get hit, the kid can't.
Right.
Okay. That needs to be in the root chakra. Okay. It has to be there. Because there are going to be things that are happening too fast. Goes to the heart sends a message right back to the root chakra. We're bypassing everything. Do this. So it's talking to the red in the root chakra and saying, I'm giving you the courage right now to do this, go. And then you can, boom,
It's like our first...
get out of the way, and as soon as you hit the ground with the kid, you go, wow, that was dumb. I saved the kid, but boy, that was really stupid. Oh my God, I could have died. Those things go through your head, and you're like, well, thank God I did it, because I saved his child. Because even, the heroes in the world think those things when they get done.
Oh, yeah.
Like, wow, I can't believe I did that, But that's part of the necessity of the frequency of the color energy. Is to align that into your root at the same time. Because everything can't be controlled completely by the planet. Otherwise, why would you need the chakra?
Right.
Okay. The chakra has its own thing to do. The planet has its own thing to do. Okay. And they work together.
They work together. Yeah, absolutely.
They work together. Like any type of a mechanism. This works with this works with this. And without it, it won't work. Okay. Now, when we get into the spiritual functions, okay, we have self-identity, okay, physically oriented, intuitive abilities, like psychometry, sensing others' bodily sensations, all that good stuff. That's the root chakra at the spiritual level. Okay. So, when we talk about that, okay, we're talking about, it's still earth energy. The psychometry is when you feel, somebody puts something in your hand and you feel what's connected to it. A necklace, a ring, anything. And you're like, okay, and you start getting things through it. Well, that's That's through touch. Temperature differences in touch. Okay. That sense happens to be, even though all the senses are earth, that sense happens to be subcategorically ruled by earth.
Okay.
Which is why psychometry is there. Okay. Sensing others' bodily sensations. Okay. So physical intimacy is kind of what we're looking at there. Okay.
Again,
The
tied
physical.
to Venus, yeah.
Yeah. The physical. Okay.
Is
So-
that, would that be a certain level of empathy, or is that something entirely different?
No, that would be, but it's going to be more earth-centered.
Earth-centered,
empathy.
yeah.
Because empathy is not just water, it's also earth, feminine. So there is that there. But it's going to be more like a mother's empathy.
Yeah.
Okay. Caretaking, protective. More so coming from that standpoint. Rather than, my child is sick, I'm feeling sick, this person's happy, I'm feeling happy, and getting manic when you go places. It's not like that. This is, again, more of the mothering energy. Okay. I need to take care of this thing. Okay. So-and-so is sad, I need to nurture this person and help them. It's more of a helpful. I need help, I need help, I need help, I need help. Problem, it can become smothered. Where they smother you out. That's earth too.
Yeah.
You have to put out a fire, you want to smother it, you throw earth on it. That's kind of how that works. Okay. So, again, when we talk about the spiritual functions and they're physically oriented, okay, we're talking about that intimacy of physical exchange. Okay. Touching somebody. Feeling that. Okay. Not so much feeling it's still emotion because it's empathy, but it's not quite, for lack of a better word, it's not quite as psychic, to put it that way.
Okay.
So it's not a psychic, it's more intuitive. It's that Aquarius intuition that's coming.
Okay.
Okay. The empathy that's driving that is coming from somewhere else. Okay, it's not the root. The intuitive aspect after it's come in, that's the earth. Okay, that's what takes it and goes, oh, okay, so what is this? Okay, so again, both feminine, they're both going to be working together. The water and the earth. But again, we've talked about that before, where the earth and water borrows two qualities from earth, one quality from fire. So they're closely related.
There's a massive overlap, yeah.
And they work really well together because of that. Okay. So that's the big issue, so to speak, I guess, when you're talking about the spiritual aspects of the root, because the root is so earth-centered in what it wants to do that when you're looking at the spiritual aspect, you have to look at the Aquarius, not the Capricorn anymore.
Right.
Now we're looking at the Aquarian aspect of intuitive processing, which is what it's doing.
Well, it's that motherly side that you're talking about.
Yes.
It's how you ground, but you
Well,
also...
the motherly side is the
you want to
Capricorn
ground,
coming in.
You want to ground everyone else
The
around you.
intuitive processing is the Aquarian side, that's masculine,
Yeah.
and that's what's pulling that up. And saying, okay, I'm getting this, I'm processing this, something's not right, something's wrong, what is it? Mothers are great for that.
Right.
What's wrong with you? I just walked in the door. Jeez, leave me alone.
Right.
You can talk to me, I'm your mother. Oh my God, leave me alone. Oh my God, stop. Stop it. Stop following me. You need to talk to, stop it. Right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go to make you something to eat. And then you're like, okay, just let me know when it's done. Right? Because the food's going to make you feel better.
I was actually hungry, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, okay, I can do that. Part. Yeah. All right. Now let's talk about the endocrine glands, the adrenals. Okay. And what are the biggest thing about the adrenal? Cortisol. Okay. The stress.
Stress hormone.
The stress hormone. Okay. What else? It regulates blood pressure, levels of sodium and potassium in you. Okay, the electrolytes in your blood. Okay, your blood pH, so the acidic level. Okay, so essentially, your root chakra is what helped you deal with stress. It comes in through the adrenal glands. Okay, by again, either releasing or not releasing cortisol.
Right.
Okay.
But again, it lends itself to its function as that hub for whatever breaks your field.
Right. Well, yeah, that's true. And then
if your stress hormone kicks up, it's fight or flight. That's what's going on and how quickly do I need to react.
Right. Well, it also, interestingly enough, helps regulate your sleep cycle. So that means it works with the pineal gland, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
So your root chakra is also working with your brow. Okay, at the same time, as far as sleep cycles go, because your brow chakra, pineal gland releases the melatonin.
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when you see some more of the crossovers, we have the Venus heart, now we have the moon pineal, which is interesting, and how they're working together. Okay.
That's where you get kind of the earth-water crossover right there too.
Right. Okay, now, the adrenal hormones, okay, they're weak male hormones, okay? They don't have much of a biological impact, masculine, okay? They're converted into female hormones, or estrogen, in the ovaries, and into male hormones in the testes, okay? And the female body also naturally produces a small number of the androgen or the male ones too, okay? But they're weak.
Right.
Okay. So they're stronger as far as feminine energy is concerned, which makes sense because it's Earth and Earth is feminine. Okay. So, want to talk about Saturn. All right. A little more about Saturn. Rules Capricorn and Aquarius personally. Okay. Determines function. Okay.
Right.
Sorry, it's a little warm in here.
It is a little warm today.
All right, so we might as well let everybody know. Somebody was mowing their lawn. I had to shut all the windows, and it is hot out today and very humid. And I have no airflow. I do have a fan on, but it's in another room because we didn't want it to mess up the audio. So if you see me doing kind of this, that's because it's getting a little warm in here.
It is certainly a little warm today.
Okay. It controls the systems used to organize and formulate the foundations of life. Okay. Initiation of developmental capabilities is its main purpose. It's a teacher of wisdom and responsibility. It determines the boundaries for practical survival through calculated analysis of consequences. Okay, we talked about that before too. We were just talking about that.
Right.
Okay. And again, wisdom as opposed to knowledge. Wisdom comes from experience. That's why little kids will run out in the street when a car's coming. Because they may have the knowledge that, hey, that car can hurt me, but they don't have the wisdom or experience to understand that they can't make it across the street before the car's going to get to them.
Right.
Okay. Or they don't even look at the car. That happens a lot too.
Practical experience to,
yes. So they're not like, they don't look both ways.
Right.
And they're again Saturn. Look both ways before you cross the street. That discipline comes in to play. Okay. Now, Saturn forms one's personal substance, the foundations of our values and our function, essentially, is what Saturn is doing. Okay. Some positive keywords for function: practical, patient, humble, wise, experience, organization, discipline. Okay. Negative: limitations, delay, demanding, challenging, trying, difficult, meticulous. Okay. Saturn can do that too. Again, we talked about the limitation aspects of it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's that
but it can be very demanding.
The meticulous side, it's that drive to push through.
Yes, but it can be very demanding. And again, we go back to the mothering thing.
Mm.
One of the negative aspects of mothers is they can be very demanding about stuff that they want done. Okay? And they can be very ridiculous and messy. I think we all know that.
Right.
Okay. It's about boundaries. It's about discipline. Okay. The big thing is Saturn wants to teach. Okay. It wants to give you responsibility. It wants to give you wisdom. Okay. And it's the way we develop anything. Is Saturn.
Okay.
It wants to develop.
That's why it's known as the great teacher.
Yes. Okay. Now, we talked about a little bit before, but let's get into Earth. Earth is substance and form. Okay. It's about material, physical, solid, shape. It's reserved. It's practical. Strength, grounded, disciplined, enduring. Okay. All of those nice words. Okay. Any type of positive space consolidated together is Earth. Anything. Not just bodies, not just that kind of solid. Anything. Thoughts, theory. A true theory is consolidated. Therefore, it's Earth.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay? Because it's its own thing. All of your individual thoughts are individual because they're consolidated. That's the Earth aspect of it. The thoughts themselves are air. Okay? The fact that all your thoughts don't flow together and all your theories aren't mingled together is Earth, because they're consolidated and divided and organized so that you can rationalize it later. Okay? Otherwise, everything would be mixed together and you wouldn't be able to hold a conversation.
Right.
Okay? Big thing about Earth is strength and stamina. Okay? It's also, it's dry and it's cold, the energy itself, two-dimensionally. Okay? And we talk about that because the root chakra is associated with Earth, not just because of Capricorn, but that's a big part. But it's also, the chakra itself is associated with Earth. Even though Aquarius is a part of it, it is associated with Earth, because it takes on more of the Earth characteristics than it does the air. And when we talk about the foot, it's just the opposite. Air takes on more in the foot chakra than Earth does.
Okay.
Not just because one's a planetary personal ruler and generational ruler. That's not the only reason. Because when you look at the planets and you're just doing like a chart breakdown or anything, you have to give more of the Aquarius energy thought when you're talking about the planet than you do when you're talking about the chakra. Let's just put it that way. Okay.
Right.
The importance of them, especially when we're talking about the root, is that intuition has to happen. As far as the hub is concerned, it has to be able to not just take the energy in; it has to be able to separate, divide, process.
Right.
And that's Aquarius. It has to do it.
That's
That's its part.
Right. It has to detach to divide, but that's all it does.
Core.
Yeah.
Okay. That ability to ground and to pull on the root chakra for strength and your stamina takes on much more potency than that intuitive process does. Which is why it's not actually disseminating anything.
Right.
It's letting Gemini do that when it shoots it up to the throat chakra. It's letting Gemini and Virgo take over. And Virgo goes in, and that's when the big analysis happens, because that's Virgo. And then it starts to analyze everything. Okay? But the energy had to be organized before it got there.
Right.
Or else it has no idea how to analyze it, because it's just too much information.
Too much information, absolutely.
And there's no organizational pattern to it. It needs the pattern. Okay. I can analyze this. okay, then I can start rationalizing it through Gemini, and then we disseminate it,
Right.
to Mercury. Just communicates everything. Boom,
Right.
there it goes. Okay. So again, those are your big things. Now, one of the biggest issues for the root chakra, we've been talking about it through the whole thing, is again limitation and restriction, and understanding where limitation and restriction is needed and where limitation and restriction is not needed. Okay. Where you can utilize it to break through something, and when you utilize it to survive. And it's understanding the line between there.
Right.
Okay. And sometimes the line is almost unrecognizable. Like you say, do you push the kid out of the way and sacrifice yourself, or do you let the kid get hit and not run in front of the car? That's all wisdom and experience. That's going to come from you. Some people are going to run in front of the car. Some people won't.
Right.
I'm not going to sit here and denigrate, though, the person that doesn't decide to do it. Sometimes you can't because there's no time. And you can't do that. If you've got time to walk over, grab the kid and move, yeah, then I'll denigrate somebody for not doing that.
Right.
But that split decision, that second, or those milliseconds that you have to make that decision, a lot of that's instinctive. So you're not like, well, I'm going to let the kid get hit. That's not it. Your instincts kick in, your experience kicks in and says, can't do it. And you just stop. But again, the better you understand it, the more you work the energy, the easier those decisions get, and the quicker you're going to respond to whatever's in front of you. And that's what your root chakra is good for.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what it's great for. When you find out and you figure out what path you're on, your root chakra is the one that's got the strength to keep you going on the path.
Right.
To hit your goal. Gives you the stamina to keep going. Okay. It also gives you the wisdom and the experience to curb a little bit if you have to. Okay. It's also going to put things in your way so that you're able to reach that goal.
And grow in the process, yeah.
Yes. To be able to hit that goal. There's things you have to experience in order to hit your goals in life. You have to. You just can't just go, okay, I'm going to do this tomorrow, bye.
Right.
Well, that takes a degree, and it takes experience in this field, this field, this field, this field to do that. You can't just go out there and do it. I mean, great ambition, but you got to do you got to do something first.
Right.
It's like, okay, because all kids, I want to be a fireman. I want to be Well, in order to be a fireman, you got to break through doors and in the houses that are on fire and go run inside and save people. Oh, well, maybe that's not for me.
How about that?
Yeah. I don't know. My experience says that's probably not the best thing to do. The guy next to you is like, yeah, I'm good with that.
It's not the best thing to do, but...
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that, yeah. I love doing stuff like that. It's like, well, okay, maybe you should do that,
Sorry,
or, you have to, again,
responders,
yeah, I can do that. I love it. Let's do this. Let's do that. And, they look at you and they're like, you're 5'2" and you weigh 105 pounds. You're not breaking through a door. Yeah. Once we break through the door, you might be able to be the guy that gets down because you're lower to the ground and helps find people. That would be great, but you're not the guy that's going to break through the door. You're not going to pick up that that huge hose and run up the stairs with it. So firemen may not be what's the job for you. Okay. And again, restrictions, limitation. Okay. You're not fated for that.
Right.
Does that mean you can't be a fireman? No. But you could be an EMT connected to the fire department.
Right.
You could be the person that goes out and tries to save these people once they bring them out. Things of that nature. There are things that you can still do.
Right.
You can dispatch, send them out. There are many different things, and that's kind of what. Again, your root chakra is also going to help you, and Saturn's going to help you do that too. And say, okay, there are some limitations that you can't get over. You know, you can't be a professional basketball player if you're Kevin Hart and you're 5'2". It's not going to happen, because in order to block a shot, you just have to do this. and yes, you were jumping while we did that. This is Shaq. Actually, this is Shaq now. Okay. Doesn't mean that you can't have fun and play basketball. It just means you can't. It's not what you're.
It's not
you're
going to
not
be
fated for that.
Right. It's not going to be a professional occupation.
Right. Exactly. Nothing that requires you to be tall is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But you can still be in an area of that, being small, and do something else. Okay. It's like people that go into the military and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You don't have to be a 6'5", 300-pound male to be a Marine.
Right.
You don't have to be that. Okay. They need little people too.
Mm-hmm.
In Vietnam, they had guys that would jump into these small little holes. Okay, looking for the enemy because they dug them.
Right.
Okay. 6'5", 300-pound guys not jumping into a little hole, not fitting in there.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
Kevin Hart, right in. Hello. Skinny guy can. Now, does that mean you still have to be able to throw your 80-pound stuff on to your 100 pounds and march and be able to do that? But if you're in good enough shape, you can do that. And again, since we're talking about Kevin Hart is in very good shape.
Right.
He could probably do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I'm not going to put that past him. You know. So it's not going to restrict what you do. It's going to restrict how you do it.
Right. Right.
Okay. That's
again,
what it's going to do.
You know,
yeah.
destinies versus fate. You know?
Yes. Yeah. It's going to eliminate. It's going to start eliminating choices.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But we need that. Otherwise, there's way too many. There's too many options. What are you going to do?
Right.
And Saturn's like, well, cuts out this. We're cutting out this. We're cutting out that. We're cutting out that. Now what are you going to do? And
Right.
still, it can be a really unbelievably hard decision. Okay, let's start working with it. Start choosing things. Get that experience. Get that wisdom. Here's some obstacles. Not can you break through them, are you willing to hit that goal? If you're not, move over here and find one where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll do it that way. Okay. And that's a destiny for you to go to still be able to make sure that you hit your fated goal, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But again, that's the major obstacle that you have to overcome for the root chakra. Our understanding those limits and restrictions and why they're there.
Right.
And what they're for, because they're not all bad.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are really good. And they're there to help you make your destiny decisions correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And give you good, solid choices for you.
Right.
In this life. Okay. And again, those are the major components of your root chakra. Okay. What they're for.
Okay.
How they're doing.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. And we do look forward to seeing you next time. Remember to like and subscribe. Thank you.